Hey there, this is Arcane Mage Tower 11.0.5 War Within. So to start off with the fight, of course you do your big opener, you pop your combat potion, you pop pretty much everything that's going to get you max damage. This is going to be the biggest damage pump you're going to hit. You can see I'm actually hitting about 11,000 DPS or so. I actually just hit 14,000, I didn't realize I got it that high. And then for the rest of the fight, I think I'm doing like around 6,000 to 7,000. I don't ever poly Seagrin off rip. For some of my attempts I did that, but it just ended up poorly. I think you get a nice flow going with polymorphs if you pump Seagrin as early as possible, and then you polymorph her after. You'll notice I actually did my shifting power before I polymorphed her, because often I had attempts where I would polymorph first and then I would walk away to try and shifting power, but I wasn't getting much value out of my shifting power cooldown wise, because then the runes on the floor would come up, or the Jarl was enraging on me, or even my shifting power would wake Seagrin up out of the polymorph, and it was just causing a lot of issues for me. So what I ended up doing was just doing the pump and then shifting power and then polymorphing her. Often she'll do her advance, which is this move where she runs at you and then kind of knocks you back. And that'll take you out of your shifting anyway. So for this attempt, I actually got a really good shifting, even though it wasn't the full thing. And then from here, you pretty much just keep Seagrin polyed almost off cooldown. Not entirely off cooldown. You'll see like when he pops this Ancestral Knowledge, I'm just letting her hit me. The Ancestral is more important, and it's also nice to delay your polymorphs a little bit, because I do believe that you get diminishing returns on the polymorph, so I think it lasts less duration with every polymorph. I could be wrong with that, but I do believe that's what's going on. You can actually hear me, because I'm not going to bother cutting out my own audio from when I actually did this run, but you can actually hear me towards the later end of the run talking about how I think I was polymorphing her too much. You can see I also accidentally just hit her out of the polymorph because of the way things were working. So I ended up using my Touch of Magi on her and just pumping her. Honestly, it's not a big deal. And I didn't polymorph her immediately because I knew I was going to do some other bullshit like the runes. You know, I just had other things to worry about. As long as Seagrin is polymorphed either before or doing her cast of Blood of Her Father, you're completely fine. That is the only mechanic that ever killed me. Pacing wise, I mean, of course, sometimes you're gonna have wipes where you don't grab all the runes. You're gonna have wipes where you don't avoid her legions. I never had a wipe where I didn't do enough damage on Ancestral. Arcane right now is great for damage. You're gonna do just fine on damage there. Really, the thing that killed me 9 out of 10 times was just not having Seagrin polyed for Blood of the Father. And that's pretty much it for strategy stuff, other than just make sure you grab the healing ball. I mean, I talk about it when I'm talking about my talents, but for some reason I just like neglected to think about the healing ball that is dropping pretty often during a lot of my first attempts. I don't know why I was just brain rotted and stupid, but that's because I'm brain rotted and stupid. So yeah, just make sure you're grabbing the healing orbs. Make sure you're keeping the Jarl slowed at minimum when he's enraged, because we are clothies as mages. He will fucking obliterate you so fast, it'll be sad. And then also, one last minor note, try to keep away from the outside ring. Sometimes you're either going to get straight up advanced by Seagrin entirely out of the arena, which is the worst way to go. It's the worst feeling, because it's like you didn't even really do anything wrong. You just happened to be in a bad spot, and she flung you all the way out of the arena. And that's pretty much it. Yeah, that's Mage Tower. I think what's been fucking me is I've been polying too often. Need to just chillax on my polys a little bit.
Watch your step.
I'm actually gonna poly her now. I just said I'm gonna chill. This is the first time I've had one of them dead.
Target change.
Yo, Did I just clear? No way.
Is not right.
You must overcome.
Dude, that only took like half an hour.
Sigrun. You have the strength.
First mage tower done? First mage tower done?
Mother, I must avenge
Right?
your death.
First mage tower done?
Forgive me.
Oh. Thank fuck. Oh, okay, well I wasted gold, but that's fine. I fucking did. Really only took like half an hour to 45 minutes of wiping, but that's only today. That doesn't include maybe like another hour. So overall, I did this, I think, in under 2 hours of attempts, give or take. Took a lot longer if you count having to run Sunwell for gear. And I don't think I'm even perfectly geared on it. But I'll go ahead and show you what I was using. So clearly I overspent because I thought I'd be wiping on this for quite a bit longer. I'll go over consumables first. So I was using a heavy desolate armor kit on my chest piece just to survive a little bit more. This was my combat potion, so I was popping this at the very start to get more damage. It's Potion of Unbridled Fury. As for my food buff, I was getting Borealis Blood Sausage. I was using a Defiled Augment Rune, Scroll of Fortitude, just for some more health. And then as for Weapon and Bomber's Oil, this one, the Wowhead Guide, it does not have this as the primary option, but I was struggling to survive, so I opted for this one. Because as you can see, you have a high chance to heal yourself when you deal damage or get an absorbed shield. I don't actually know how much this was healing me for because I did not have a heal meter up. This is what I decided to opt for. I don't know how much value I was or was not getting out of that. As for gear, I just did Sunwell gear and then I slotted it with gems. So you can look on gems on Wowhead to get a better guide on gems. I did not spend the max amount of gold I could have for the max intellect, but you just saw you didn't really need it. I felt like my damage was fine. It really wasn't damage I was dying on. It was just polymorph breaking on Sigrun, to be honest with you. But I think I was breaking the poly on Sigrun. I think the poly on her lasts less time every time you poly her. Don't quote me on that. I think that's just what's going on. And for the first like 20 minutes of attempts, I was just spamming poly. So whenever poly was up, I was hitting it. And then sometimes it would break and I would get fucked to the Blood Fury, Blood of the Father, or whatever it is. But yeah, you can see I just have Sunwell gear. There's some slots I'm missing, so I'm using my actual War Within gear, like for my cloak, my necklace, my boots, one of my rings, and one of my trinkets. I actually enjoy having this trinket on, period, because it was giving more statage. But yeah, I'll hover over every single slot here. You can see what I was running. You can pause if you want to see it all specifically. But yeah, I was just using Sunwell gear, and then I was slotting it with gems. If you want to know which gems to slot, I would go ahead and look at Wowhead. Those are basically the exact gems I opted for. Some were way too expensive than I wanted to spend. Especially because I just paid for my my subscription with gems, or sorry, with gold. But yeah, you can go ahead and pause at any moment. And that's pretty much what I ran. And that was Arcane Mage Tower. And I was on, this is 11.05, so, or 11.0.5, or whatever you want to say. Anyway, that's Mage Tower. Let me go ahead and look at the set real quick. Here it is. I personally think it looks fucking immaculate. But of course, as we all know with Mage Tower, that's not exactly the main thing you're looking for. The main thing you're looking for is this mount. And that was the first achievement I've got on the mount. So I'll be uploading these whenever I get more achievements for the mount. And yeah, that was it. Later. I actually ended the video without showing this, but these are the talents I used. This is actually just the Wowhead Mage Tower talent set. From the Wowhead Mage Tower Arcane Mage guide. As for some small strategy things, I actually kept Frostbolt bound because it was nice to have, I don't know if you saw, it was nice to have that additional slow on the guy that is throwing the axes, the Jarl, I believe. Basically, whenever he was enraging, I was Frostbolting into the Nova. This gives me some more time to pump on the Rune guy while Sigrun is polyed. And then once he got close, I would Frost Nova. Didn't really need my potion all that often. My biggest tip strategy-wise was that Just make sure you're picking up the healing item, the little healing orb that is being dropped in the fight. For some reason, for like my first 2 hours of attempts, or whenever I discovered I wanted to do Mage Tower, I just like didn't even think about that. I just wasn't grabbing that at all. And then getting mad when I would just pop a potion and still die anyway. You really need to be grabbing that healing item, or that healing drop. It will help you quite a lot. Anyway, yeah, these are the talents.